Welcome back to the Two Blues podcast. Another live match reaction. What a game. What a team performance. What a win. Chelsea are in the title race no matter what Enzo Maresca says. He is just trying to appeal to the better nature of the Chelsea fans. Chelsea are in with as much chance of winning this Premier League title as anybody else. It is Liverpool's title to lose. I am not expecting a Chelsea charge, don't get me wrong, but Jesus bloody Christ, where did this team come from? 3-4 months ago, it was reports of people still changing in the corridors. How has Enzo Maresca got this team so finely tuned, playing so well? Oh, lads. Mr. C Money will be joining us in about 15 minutes, but let's just get straight into it, man. Number one, Cole Palmer is fake. Cole Palmer is Fugazi. He is not real. He is not human. He is AI. There's no way. Well, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand how does a footballer do all this? How is this Don able to do what he does on a regular basis? I do not. We're going to get into it more because I'm just going to speak time and again about how this is the most elite player that we have seen in Chelsea since Eden Hazard. But how man suggests that Bukayo Saka could even sniff Cole Palmer's boots, let alone lace him, man. Bukayo Saka couldn't touch Cole Palmer with a 10-foot shitty stick. On it, bruv. This geezer is, we said before the game today, look, regardless of goals, assists, the performances are there. You can't really get caught up in the whole social media aspect of it, the conversation around him, because there will be people, oh, he's got 2 assists this week. He's got a goal this week. Stat padders will stat pad. Cole Palmer is not that guy. You break down every single goal, every single assist, every single contribution, every single indirect effect, every single indirect impact he has had on this Chelsea team. It's integral. It leads to a goal. It's functional. It ain't performative like these other players doing up these stats against smaller teams, scoring penalties, getting assists from corners. Cole Palmer is that guy. You heard Roy Keane, bruv, not Michael Richards, not Sturridge. Roy Keane at halftime applauding the pass from Cole Palmer to Enzo Fernandez, which looked like a basic 10-yard pass. It weren't, bro. The things he does, nobody else could do. And the best argument of why Cole Palmer is better than Saka is Cole Palmer could do everything Saka can do and more. Saka cannot do everything Cole Palmer can do. This guy is an elite creator, an elite creative forward, an elite attacking footballer, an elite technician, bruv. This guy, he's not real. He's AI. He is ChatGPT patched, bro. He's got the Tesla down, bro. He's got the 2026 Elon Musk DLC downloaded. He's light years ahead of so many people in the Premier League. Not just so many people in this Chelsea team, so many people in the Premier League. But I think what today showed us was that this is a different Chelsea side from last season, because in games like this last season, we would have been relying solely on Cole Palmer. And today, that team performance, Romeo Lavia, I thought was superb. Moises Caicedo filling in at right back had Charms scared in our live match preview. Had a lot of Chelsea fans shook, thinking, why isn't Gusto starting? This manager, I said to Charms as well before the game, if we lose today, so many fans are going to come straight for Enzo Maresca's head top, saying playing this 3-3-3-1 was stupid, should have played an out right back, should have stuck to the basics, should have done what you know. My second favorite thing about Maresca is the way he answers questions in press conferences, is the way he deals with the media. My second favorite thing about Enzo Maresca is the fact that he is willing and able to tweak this team week on week. Depending on who the opposition is, it's a completely different Chelsea side. And when I say completely different, 90% of it is probably the same. The fundamentals, the basics remain. And that's why the injury to Wes Fofana is a huge loss for us. And we'll get into that a little bit more in the future. But on the whole, this Enzo Maresca, this adaptability, this flexibility, this ability to pick out the weaknesses of an individual side, capitalize on those week in, week out, while still maintaining a consistent team, consistent performances, and a consistent identity. We haven't seen this as Chelsea fans in years. And today, some of the football that we were playing in the second half, for such a young side to be so professional and to manage the game so well against a dangerous side like Aston Villa. Don't get it twisted. At certain points in that second half, I was still clenching my butt cheeks a little bit. I was still, there's an opportunity for him to go through here. They get one goal, the game flips on its head. It's 2-1, it's 2-2. We're looking at battening down the hatches at home in the last 5 minutes to a Champions League quality side. None of that today. Levi Colwill, man. When will you lot start listening to me? At the start of this season, everything that I've said at the start of this season that I've been flamed on will ring true at the end of the year. Levi Colwill, there's not a better passer of the ball from centre-back in the Premier League than Levi Colwill. And his defensive game is just improving week in, week out. Obviously, that partnership with Wes Fofana solidifying slowly but surely. But yeah, man, there's so much positivity to come from today. Enzo Fernandez. If this is not your sign to divorce your wife and children, to become a deadbeat dad, I do not know what it is. 2 goals and 5 assists in his last 4 or 5 games for Chelsea. Ever since he divorced his missus, elite. He is the player we signed. There were people saying today, an interesting point as well, a lot of tacticos, particularly on Twitter, were saying today that it was a game that needed physical domination in the centre of midfield, needed Lavia and Caicedo double pivot. So there were a lot of people that were a little bit, I don't want to say skeptical, that seems like a little bit too harsh of a word, that were a little bit unsure at how this midfield would cope today. But Enzo Fernandez, I thought a team like Aston Villa, they're going to give you a little bit more space. They're not going to be playing low blocks. They're going to try and play football. It's going to be a little bit more open. These are the games where Enzo Fernandez is going to be able to pull the strings. And today he did that. He was fantastic. His goal was sublime. But before then, I thought he was very, very good. His work rate, the fact that he has, and with this inverted system as well, obviously Cucurella coming in, but today he's got Lavia and Caicedo protection behind him. He does not need to worry about leaving gaps. He doesn't need to worry about going forward and leaving his man for a little bit. John McGinn can roam free because you've got Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia, 2 of the best central defensive midfielders in the world, not just the Premier League. For their age, there are not many better central defensive midfielders in the world than Caicedo and Lavia. And Charms and I were having a bit of banter on a pre-match stream saying, I've been saying this week that Caicedo is the best player in the Premier League, most consistent player in the Premier League this season. And people have been calling me out on that, saying that they've got a problem with that. Listen, I hear if you're going to say Gravenberch, Kulusevski, those are the only 2 players that I'll entertain proper conversations for. If you come up with a Salah, I'm going to be, nah. He's doing what he's not overachieving like Caicedo is overachieving, but quietly overachieving. And today, I thought it was going to be the perfect storm for me to be sitting here talking all week about just how good Caicedo is, and then he gets dropped into right back. He's playing up against Morgan Rogers. He has an absolute stinker. He didn't. Number one, he weren't playing up against Morgan Rogers. Don't know why, but Rogers switched sides and wanted to play on the right. Got absolutely locked up by Cucurella. Cucurella, we'll get onto him in a minute, man. Cucurella might be, and I hate Cucurella, Cucurella might be the best left back in the world right now. Cucurella might be the best, most complete left back in the world right now. Attack, defense. Brother, his redemption arc ever since he pulled into the inverted role, second to none. And listen, I hated him last season, still don't particularly like him, but he puts in unbelievable performances, cannot fault a single thing he does in a Chelsea shirt. This season, he's been sublime. 100% in the team of the season so far. If I was to make a Premier League team of the season, he's my left back. There are not many better left backs in the Prem. Not many better left backs in the world right now than Marc Cucurella. But it seems to be the thing for a lot of Chelsea players at the moment. Redemption arcs. And we discussed before the game why this healthy competition is still positive and how Enzo Maresca is managing to keep these players battling to the top of their ability without harming their egos may be a little bit bruised, but he's not harming their mental health, their stability. They're young players. He is nurturing them fantastically. And when they are succeeding, when they're putting out performances like today, nobody in that dressing room, whether you got minutes or didn't, nobody in that dressing room can be mad. We'll jump into the comments real quick before Mr. C Money joins us. And, Rohan Seems to be the only brother that's active. So guys, don't forget, make sure to like, make sure to comment as well. It's a live chat. Make sure, bruv, who was your man of the match today? Because Sky Sports gave it to Cole Palmer. I wouldn't have given it to Cole Palmer. I probably would have given it to Enzo or Caicedo today. I thought both of those were superb. But yeah, man, let me know what your thoughts were on today's game. Let me know who your man of the match is. Everyone that was saying Nkunku needs to start today. Are you convinced that Jackson's the man? Because, brother, this guy... Woo! I know Roy Keane was having heart palpitations when Daniel Sturridge was talking at half-time as well, talking about this Nicholas Jackson, man, proper tings. I know Roy Keane's head was spun. Roy Keane's head was boiling, bro. It was lava. But there is not a more complete striker in the Premier League than Nicholas Jackson. There is not. I mean, we compared him to Watkins in the pre-match, and we spoke about how they both had great seasons last season. Obviously, Watkins a little bit more developed, more ahead of him in terms of his schedule, where he should be. Nicholas Jackson today, that instinctive finish. I feel like you give him not even two, you give him half a second, he's not going to pull that. He's going to think about it too much and not going to pull that finish off. But instinctive finish from Nicholas Jackson today. And that's what his game has been lacking. He's deadly finishing. He seems to get himself in great positions. His work rate's fantastic, but it's just applying that final finish. And again today, showing all the haters exactly why Enzo Maresca just continues to pick him. He is undoubtedly a fixture in this first team. It's not a thought. His name should already be on the lineup, already on the team sheet when it gets announced. Nicholas Jackson is 100% my number 9, 100% the striker that I want to see continuing lead the line for Chelsea. And look, Christopher Nkunku, for all the quality he has, and we'll get into this a little bit more when Charms joins. I said in midweek that Christopher Nkunku, there's not a team in the Premier League he doesn't start for. I stand by that. I think, as Charm said earlier, Liverpool are the only one that maybe he doesn't get into the front three. They've got a few more options, but I still think he gets in sitting behind the striker. I think Christopher Nkunku gets into every single team in the Premier League. And I think the fact that he doesn't get into the team at Chelsea is a testament to Nicholas Jackson. It's a testament to how good this guy is and how far he has come since he joined. 17 goals in his debut season, and people were still trying to write him off. People were still trying to say we needed Tony, we needed Osimhen. I was very happy that we gave Nkunku and Jackson the chance. And Nicholas Jackson, man. What more can I say about this guy? I love him. I think he's an absolute unbelievable, just in terms of the personality, the football, on, off the pitch, the mentality, everything about him is what I want to see from a striker that wants to succeed, that wants to do well. And I love it. Loved it again today, even though I didn't, not the most convincing performance over 90 minutes. He still does what he needs to do. He gets himself into dangerous positions. He stretches the defense, and he's not selfish. Nicholas Jackson is the epitome of a selfless player, a player that is more than happy to go and pull himself out of the game and to make runs and to create spaces for somebody else to have an opportunity. And yeah, I feel like he is just a non-negotiable in this starting lineup at the moment. And as good as Nkunku is, and he continues to score in the Conference League, it's no disrespect to Nkunku. It's no qualms on Nkunku to sit here and say you can't get into this Chelsea team. Unfortunately, while Jackson is performing and scoring like this, you can't drop him. It's impossible. You just can't. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Does that solidify Nicholas Jackson as the Chelsea striker, or does Nkunku still deserve a chance? Rohan says he can't stay, but here's his suggestions. Mudryk should come instead of Neto. Not sure about that. I like Neto today. I thought his pace, directness, I thought his deliveries were good. His end product from the right was solid. Obviously, he switched over to the left when Madueke came on, and I don't think he was effective over on the left. But it seems like everybody wants to play on that right side. And look, Sancho, I thought, again, had a solid first half today. Didn't really do too much to kind of grab headlines, but a great individual performance to help the team. Again, very selfless performance, very much knowing, understanding his job, his role. It was kind of a wing-back role as well. It was a little bit more defensive duties, a little bit more kind of discipline he needed to have today. So he couldn't just kind of go gung-ho and exploit those spaces. But I thought Sancho, on the whole, very, very good today. And I thought Neto as well, very, very good. We spoke in midweek about how Jadon Sancho's end product is kind of ahead of Mudryk and ahead of Madueke's. I'd argue it's even ahead of Neto's a little bit, particularly off that right when he is on his strong foot. But Pedro Neto today put some fantastic crosses in off that right side when he cuts in and puts those little teasing balls in on his left foot. I think it's just begging for someone like Nicholas Jackson to get on the end of it. And we do need to score more from crosses, from set pieces, from wide positions. We do need to score more from balls into the box. But that is something that will come with this Chelsea team. And the quality of delivery is paramount. The quality of delivery is the main thing, because if you're slinging crosses into the box and no one's getting on the end of them, if they're crap crosses, you can't moan because you're not even getting anywhere near the target. But Pedro Neto, he can be a little bit rueful today that nobody got on the end of his crosses, because he was putting delightful deliveries into the box, delectable little deliveries into the box. They were dangerous crosses, man. And it's the kind of ball where you are just begging for someone to get a tiny little touch on as a set piece taker, as a serial set piece taker. I know the feeling of when you put a ball on the money, you know all it needs is the little helping hand, that you can't do everything by yourself. So Pedro Neto, I thought, put some great deliveries into the box today. Still looked really, really dangerous. And also looks very, very quick. The first thing that I noticed about Pedro Neto when he joined was I thought his acceleration, his speed wasn't what I'd seen at Wolves. But that may have been injury. That may have just been getting up to speed in this Chelsea side, because he looks like he's really now, I was going to say hit the ground running. He looks like he's running. He looks like that treadmill can't keep up with him. It looks like there's not enough number settings on that treadmill to hold Pedro Neto. The geezer he's got absolute burners, man. And after he's got the Dominic Toretto nos, bruv. He's got the Toyota Supra double exhaust fume. Pedro Neto has that gas, bro. So I don't think, personally, I think Mudryk, out of all the wingers, I think Mudryk is probably at the bottom of the pile. And again, this is no disrespect to Mudryk. It's just that we have a winger conundrum. We have a roulette wheel of wingers whereby we've got 7, 8 wingers and 2 of them are absolutely cooking at any given time. And it's very, very difficult to look at the players that aren't cooking and go, I'm really, really sorry, guys. But these 2 others have they're elite at the moment. And Pedro Neto, I feel like he was starting to get to that, obviously, with the Arsenal goal, the performances for Portugal in the international break. It was a big miss for us, I think, last week, not having Pedro Neto. I think that would have been when he would be able to kick on. But, straight back into training, straight back in this side. I think Noni Madueke, we can't be disappointed, can't be surprised either at Noni Madueke being dropped today. Because as Charm said, it was never like he made that position his own. It was very much, he came into the team, he lasted 4 or 5 games on the trot, and then it kind of got to the point where we were thinking, well, he hasn't really kind of replicated that form that he was doing against Wolves. He hasn't really, he hasn't scored a goal since, hasn't really been assisting, hasn't really been creating. And obviously the main thing with Noni Madueke that people get onto him for is his selfishness. And again today, one opportunity he had to square the ball where, he should have squared it and shot. But I can't be mad at him. When we're 3-0 up, João Felix was being selfish. Christopher Nkunku was being a little bit selfish. All those forwards just wanted to get themselves on the score sheet. That's the main problem for Chelsea at this point, is when we're trying to see out games and when we're bringing these players on, they're all going to be trying to further their own personal agenda rather than helping the team be professional. And I personally think that's what Enzo Maresca would appreciate more and would respond to more. I think if a player like Noni Madueke comes on, holds the ball, keeps it, it keeps possession, creates chances, tries to get other players involved, I think Enzo Maresca looks at that and goes, all right, okay, he's obviously gone to the root of the problem and address that, rather than, right, I need to come in and get a goal and an assist. And this is the trivial thing. This is what everybody kind of plays off these days because of stats. Social media have undoubtedly not helped it, but stats are such a big part of the game nowadays. You cannot go 10 minutes on Twitter without seeing this guy assisted, this guy scored, that's these many goal contributions. And that's where a player like Cole Palmer is different to the rest. His pre-assist is where he is influential in so many different aspects of the game. But Noni Madueke, I feel like, is hooked on these goals, these assists, these contributions. And yes, he got an assist when he came on today. And yes, that's his first assist of the Premier League campaign this season. And yes, that's fantastic that he does know when to square it. But at the same time, that's not an assist to the level that is a stat assist. It's not, he didn't create the goal with that assist. Cole Palmer created the goal. So you hear what I'm saying? There's a difference between an assist on paper and an actual assist that caused a goal. And that is where I feel like Noni Madueke is falling behind the rest. I feel like Jadon Sancho understands that he doesn't need, and while my biggest criticism of Jadon Sancho is that he doesn't go at his man enough, he doesn't try and beat his opposite number. He doesn't try and do what we know he has the skill, the ability to do. More often than not, he turns around and keeps the ball. But that is intelligent play. And while I lament it, while it's part of Pep's system, and I really don't like that they've turned, attacking direct players like Jack Grealish and Doku into these pass-back merchants that just want to maintain possession, I do see why, in a system like this, and with a manager like Enzo Maresca, who was moulded off Pep Guardiola, I do see and understand why players like Sancho are being a little bit more restrained in the final third, in the end product, in the willingness to lose the ball. Chelsea branded ourselves very early on as a team that was going to be quick in the transition, that was going to be exciting, direct. We've really kind of dialed back on that aspect. And while we still have the capability to do that and to make that happen with certain teams, I think Enzo Maresca, and going back to what I said earlier about Enzo Maresca tweaking our team and performances based on our opposition, week in, week out, he is able to identify the weaknesses, identify where we are most likely to make up ground with the teams that we are maybe not on the same level of consistency-wise, performance-wise. Obviously, today, a little bit different with Aston Villa, not having won in 7 games. I feel like we went into that with a little bit more confidence. But at the same time, you look at it on paper, Champions League side that should have got a result against Juventus in midweek. This is a team that has performed at the top level with a top manager and top players for over a year now. This is not just a blip, this Aston Villa side. They're a very, very good side. And it was going to take nothing short of a quality performance today to get 3 points. And we did it. We today was, I'd argue, one of our best team performances of the season. I think in terms of not allowing chances, I think Robert Sanchez was better today in terms of his discipline at the back. I thought Cucurella was excellent. Caicedo, excellent at right back. And Colwill and Fofana. Fofana was probably the weak link in that back four. And that was only because he kind of running with his, when he was facing his own goal, when he had Watkins on his shoulders, couple of decisions that he made maybe incorrectly. We'll iron those out with time. We're waiting to see the extent of this injury for Wes Fofana. Hopefully, it's not serious. It was a hamstring injury, I think, and I'm 99% sure that the recurring injury has been more on his knee, not his hamstring. So fingers crossed, this was more of kind of just a insignificant muscle injury. He'll only be out for 1-2 weeks. While we've got this heavy schedule in December, we need to make sure that we're not overloading these players. So, 1 game a week. If Wes Fofana's still picking up little injuries, we're going to have to see if we can make up some ground there. However, I thought on the whole, this defense, that centre-back partnership, I'm very, very happy with the way it's progressing. And while there is still something to be desired, we are still not at the final product. We're not at the end product. We're not there yet. We're very aware of that as Chelsea fans. And I think we know this is still a work in progress. This is still a team that is going to take time to get to the top level and to get them playing together. Listen, Jose Mourinho said it. That quote will not age. There are 2 horses and a little horse. It's a good horse. It's got potential, but it needs to be fed. It needs to be watered. It needs to be nurtured. It needs to be taught. And then next season, we will have a very, very good horse who is ready to race. This season is where we need to make up that ground, and we are doing so magnificently, bruv. We are doing so unbelievably well. The fact that we have managed to make up so much ground from, and we can cite the form at the back end of last year. I think form at the end of the year is very, very difficult to ride on because, season was virtually done. It was too little too late from Pochettino's men. And while it was very, very solid, we were kind of imbued. We were entrenched in our style of play and our way of playing at that point. And I do feel like this revitalization, this resurgence of this Chelsea squad, it's a new day. It's a new dawn. It is finally a project and a process I can trust and put my faith in. But we are still in the early days. Let's not get it twisted. Performances like today are not going to happen every single week. We are not going to be able to pull this out 38 games out of 38 across a league. And we've still seen when we go up against City, Arsenal, Liverpool, there's still a little bit to be desired. But games like today give me so much hope. And it will also give both Enzo Maresca and the team so much confidence that we can go out and perform like that against the Champions League winning sides. But we do have Mr. C Money Picks joining us now, ready to give his thoughts. I'm hoping for a man of the match. And also, I need to give him an apology as well, because if there was one thing I said was guaranteed today, it was both teams to score. And for somehow, Robert Sanchez has pulled out the first clean sheet at home in over a year. Don't know how he's done it. But I think that today, testament charms to the team. What a team performance. Just how good is this Chelsea side looking this season?
Yeah, man, we're here. We're really, really in the building. And, it takes a minute.
Hold on. Lemon's in the cut. Hold on. I haven't even gone through the chat. Lemon's in the cut. The OGs are back. Come on.
He knew where we would be. He saw the result and he knew where we would be.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, man, I thought that this was the best Chelsea side attacking I've seen in a minute. I feel like I say that week in, week out, and I love it. You know what I mean? It's no qualms, no problems. And we had said it as well, that three midfield, them interchanging and roll. It wasn't as flowy as maybe I thought it was going to be, but it was definitely a great performance going forward. I mean, I thought some of the balls Neto was putting in over the top was fantastic. There was one which he whipped in that I went, before anyone even got on the end of it. The way that he just whipped it, so direct, like aggressive, wants to score goals, wants to get people involved. I thought Nicholas Jackson looked great. He looked super sharp. Like, even when he poached that ball off of Emmy, nearly bagged from that. It just shows his want to score goals, his hunger. I did think Emi Martinez, for the 45 minutes he played, looked really out of focus. I thought he looked a little bit banged up and a little bit distracted. So that came into our benefit, you know what I mean? But I think we capitalised for the team that were able to be capitalised on, and I think we played as well as we could have played. 1 second, I'm just going to refresh my camera.
I can't lie, I feel like with Martinez, because he's such a good goalkeeper, I feel like on Martinez, it was kind of like he got in his own head. I don't know whether he convinced himself he was injured or he convinced himself. I feel like it was one of those where he had a bad, he was obviously just having a bad day off the bat. Couple of misplaced passes and he was, maybe I'm not up for this. Maybe I got a little niggle at it. Maybe I'm not thinking. But I feel like he did get in his own head. And yeah, you're not wrong. This is one of the best keepers in the world on his day. So a blessing in disguise that he had an absolute howler today against Chelsea. But listen, bro, I don't want to sit here and talk about the Aston Villa side because there were so many unbelievable individual performances from Chelsea. And also, I'm very aware we're eating into one of the biggest games of the season now. So we will try and wrap this up fairly quickly. But I'm going to need your man of the match at the end of this segment. But I just want your opinion on a couple of individuals today. So first off is Caicedo. Obviously, we'd said that, going into today at right back, that was the kind of issue for us. Luckily, for some reason, Morgan Rogers didn't fancy going up against him and taking him on one-on-one once the entire game. Maybe it was because he put that big clamping challenge in on McGinn early doors, won the ball, and they knew they weren't going to get past him. But Caicedo today, I thought was absolutely fantastic. And also, listen, I'm hearing shouts for Marc Cucurella, best left back in the world right now. Tell me your thoughts on this.
So it's a bit of a stretch, probably, but it's not crazily far off the tube. I thought he had a stellar game today. He was the first person I thought of when you asked about man of the match. I thought that he looked fantastic. I mean, if we're going to actually go who was the best player today for Chelsea, Cuckoo's up there, man. He's really, really highly up there. I'm probably going to give my man of the match to Cole Palmer just because the goal is ridiculous. First of all, the goal's ridiculous. Like, let it be said. He freezes goalkeepers when he shoots. Like, and I love this, right? Because it's insane. He gets the ball at 26, 27 yards, he may as well be 8 yards off. He may as well take a pen. His precision from outside the box is just fucked. He's so good at just taking a touch, bang, seeing the far side and whipping it, man. And, even the build-up and the lead, it's just like, you see the minute that his brain's off and he's just gawking about playing this attacking football and he's so good at it. It's just hard to give anyone else a man of the match when Cole Palmer is in the form that he's been in the last 18 months. So my man of the match is either Cole Palmer or Cucurella. But to be a purist, a football purist, we'll go with Cucurella. But we all know Palmer's contribution to that game was second to none. Absolutely fantastic. Probably my favourite player in world football right now, without question.
Yeah, unbelievable, bro. I was using your sayings on the story, bro. This guy's fugazi. He's fake. He's AI. He's not. Bro, someone is editing this guy into the game. Bro, somebody is editing him in post game. He is not playing in these games. There's no way. He's alien, bro.
Oh my God! There is a massive spider crawling down my tripod, bro.
I thought you were going to start talking about I thought it was something that just happened in the City game, bro. Right.
That is getting whacked right now.
Let's finish on another top performer. All right, you can listen though. You go on, fucking beat this spider, but you can listen. So ever since fucking Enzo, the tripod moves so much. Right, Enzo Fernandez has been absolutely cooking since he divorced his missus. Number one. Are you thinking of divorcing Ty to get into some of this redemption arc form? And number two, can you write him out of this team, or has he played his way back into this first team with this performance?
It's a big ass spider, bro. But First of all, no, probably not. But listen, all means that ends well. If I could get a guarantee we'd win the Premier League, well, I would consider it, right? But listen, these performances that Enzo's been putting in recently they've been very, very showcasery. I was really big on. No, we need to stick by Enzo and Caicedo, regardless. 2 or 3 good Lavia performances. I said no. I want to stick by the consistency. 4, 5, 6 in really impressive Lavia performances. Okay, fine. Maybe we should start mixing it up. The second I say that, it's been banger after banger for Enzo. He's looked great. He's looked sharp. He's looked, attack orientated. I love this version of Enzo Fernandez. And yeah, I think that he's had a reason to cook, and he's done exactly that. He's turned the hob on, got the water on the boil, and we're cooking. We're making pasta, and you never ever feed the baddest pasta, and we all know this one. So as soon as the divorce came in. Yeah, man, cook season, and here he is, Chef Enzo in the cup, man. I love him, man. I'm falling back in love with this beautiful Chelsea side, and it's man for man as well. There was a point when I could name 2 or 3 players I had love for. You know, there was a point I would have said Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, Reece James. They're the 3 that are going to take us there. I can't see any 3 of those being involved largely. Well, 2 of them for very obvious reasons, but the one that we have remaining, Reece James, I can't see him being involved if we were to win something, if we were to go far in a tournament, if we were to be Chelsea again, be successful. It's not 3 players anymore. It's about 8 or 9. There's 8 or 9 players I'll fucking ride or die for in this club, bro. And I love it, man. I'm so happy that we're back in this position. It's a great feeling. It's a good position to be in. 3-0, easy win. A team like Aston Villa, it's a difficult, it's a difficult match to have for anyone. And as you said, the both teams to score was never going to hit the minute I put my 5 on it. But I'm gassed to see a fucking clean sheet finally come out of Robert Sanchez at home.
It's one of those bets you're happy to lose. On the odd occasion, a bet you're happy to lose. And listen, man, Chelsea, how often can we say clean sheet at home, 3rd in the table? We're not even 3rd on goal difference now. I was talking about I don't really mind being 3rd, 4th on goal difference. We ain't even 4th on goal difference. 3rd on goal difference. 3rd on alphabetical order, bruv. We are cooking, man. We're here, bro. Cole Palmer has saved us from a week of shite talking from the Arsenal fans. Oh, you might have won, but Cole Palmer didn't. Bruv, there is nothing Cole Palmer can do. There is nothing Saka could do that Cole Palmer couldn't. Yeah. But there are so many things Cole Palmer could do that Saka couldn't. Don't know if you heard it. Saka couldn't even sniff his boots, let alone lace them. Couldn't touch him with a 10-foot shitty stick. I can say it so many different ways. There is no way you can compare this level of player. Unbelievable. But you know what, bruv? Not only are we eating into Man City, Liverpool, but I'm 99% sure, I haven't checked the final score, but I'm 99% sure Tottenham dropped more points. Amorim ball is in full effect. I'm thinking we might have to bring an evening stream for the people then, just to recap the entire.
It's going to be one of those Sundays. I got a feeling, Dan. It's going to be one of those Sundays. Long one. Never see me on a Sunday, so when you do, you see me 3 times. You gotta love it.
Exactly that, bro. Exactly that. Well, all right, we'll let you lot get off to it. We're not going to be into the Man City game anymore. But if you rejoin us here some point this evening, whatever you do, follow at Two Blues Podcast on the Instagram and the TikTok, and we'll announce it there. We'll let you know when we're feeling to go live tonight, but we will bring you a game week recap and just a little bit more fun where we can, hopefully be joined by Lemon, Rohan, anybody else that wanted to join. I'm not going to scroll through all of the comments, but appreciate everybody that tuned into this. Up the Chelsea. Let's have it. And who do you want to win out of Liverpool City? I think draw probably is the best bet for us.
I mean, I would prefer if Salah scored, Erling Haaland scored, and then Liverpool either won or drew. I'll put it like that, bro, because that's going to be the bet for today. It's nearly 10-1. The 2 best scorers in the Premier League, the bag team in the best form in the league, arguably best team in Europe, to beat a frail Man City side. I love it. Sweet, let's get that fucking game on immediately.
That's the C money pick for today, but yeah, man. We'll see you back in here in a couple of hours. Big up, everyone. Make sure you follow at Two Blues Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We are back.